ShartimusPrime. Reading comics, toys are hella sick, hella whacking it, taking bad hits, taking bad shit. Subscribe.
Talking about all the great paint apps, and then there's a little smudge right there. Hey, what's up, you guys? ShartimusPrime here, doing another Revoltech action figure review on the figure complex Amazing Yamaguchi Avengers War Machine. Trying to get your amazing Yamaguchi figures, you can do so at big. Get your big badass toys at BigBadToyStore.com. Click the link in the description below. And while you're down there, please hit that like button and hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell. It does help out the channel quite a bit. And this is looking pretty sweet right here with the packaging. I will say I am noticing some paint error right over here on the figure, and it's kind of a bit rattly in there. So we'll see how those QC issues pan out. Anyway, on the side, you can see we get some text right there. It says War Machine. And then on the back, you get some more speech bubbles throughout, which is always a lot of fun. I like that. Then you can see all the option parts, tons of option parts over there. And then on the side, you get Rhodes again, War Machine. And then on the top right here, you get War Machine again. And then a little bit of Avengers right there at the bottom. So let's get to it and crack this thing open. And here's War Machine out of the packaging. And I gotta say, this figure does look very cool. Very much inspired by the Mark I armor War Machine that we've seen in the MCU. So I like that design. I like how the figure looks, looking like we're getting some nice paint apps over here as well. And we get a ton of accessories. You are just seeing the tip of the iceberg right over here. So let's get a closer look at all of those, and then we'll take a closer look at War Machine. So as always, we get the Revoltech Amazing Yamaguchi display stand right here with our articulated arms, and then you get the clamp right there, or you could remove this, peg it into the back of the figure, which I do prefer doing. Then you get the little instruction booklet right here that shows you how you can switch out all these parts. Oh man, and there are many options right here for displaying. It's insane. But oh, look at all those accessories right there. Holy crap, Amazing Yamaguchi really loves to go hard with the accessories, and with War Machine, they went especially hard. Oh man, so we have 3 pairs of interchangeable hands, fisted hands, repulsor blasting hands, flight projection hands right there. You get these 4 turrets right here, these 4 machine gun turrets. We get 8 of these kind of connecting pieces right here for the turrets and other weapons. And then you also get 4 missile or rocket launchers right over there. I think it's 4 sets of missiles right there. And then you have the pods right there, these little missile pods. So 4 of those, or you could stack them up so you have 2 each, as you saw right there. These like wrist machine gun parts, might be missing one, I'm not sure, but I only have 3. I thought there was a 4th, but I could be wrong about that. And while these don't really count as accessories, you do have these handguard forearm parts that I like because you could collapse them together and make an ultra bulky fist for War Machine to punch with. I thought that was neat. And then you get 6 of these translucent effects, which look great with this gradient orange going into that clear. It's got like this misty silver paint over it too towards the end right there. Can you see it? Can you see it? I think that looks fantastic. And they're angled in a kind of way, you know, just like with the Iron Man figure. I like the sculpt on all of these accessories, by the way. I think they all look pretty good, you know. Nice clean red paint right here for all these pods. So I like that. And looking at these machine guns right over here, I believe these are machine guns. They look like machine guns, right? I think those are pretty cool as well. And these missiles look really neat too. I really like these. They are not removable, but I do like the paint. They all came out looking very clean. I do like them. And I forgot to mention, you do get these extra pins. It comes with a ton of extra pins right here. And then this little picking tool. Now, I have to admit, my initial thoughts with this figure were not good because I tried putting these accessories on here, and these joints are floppy as hell. That is extremely frustrating for me. I hate how floppy these joints can get. That's the biggest downside of the figure for me. Now, it will stay in position. You know, you can move it around, but look at this. This will just spin on its own so easy. And if you're trying to swap parts, which you're going to try to do because it's just made for swapping parts, that's the whole deal with these things. I mean, just look how flimsy that is. It just comes right off. So that is incredibly frustrating. You have to find a set of these things right here that are going to work best. Some of them are a little bit more stiff than others. So I just had to get that frustration out of the way because it honestly made me not even want to talk about the figure or play with the figure for a moment. But but you know, I was able to try it out with different, but after being more persistent and trying different parts out, you know, it ended up working out okay for me. Now, I do like how the head sculpt came out. I do have a tiny little blemish right there. I don't know where that came from. I don't think I did that because I don't remember scuffing it or dropping it. There is this nice slight red hue right there for the eyes. I love that. You can see behind the sculpted eye slot right there, there's a lot of red. I really dig that a lot. I love the bright silver. And we get some nice sculpting. Again, I really like the design of this Mark I Iron Man / comic version Iron Man. I mean, War Machine. I think they did adopt this look for War Machine in the comics, though. And then that whole, you know, that sight designed arc reactor looks pretty good. I like it. Paint didn't actually come out too bad on it. Again, we get some nice sculpted line work throughout on this. I like all these shingled parts right there around the abs. That looks good. It says Marvel right there. You can see all the ports. Oh my god, the option parts. So you can see port here, you know, for the stand more than anything. Oh, there goes a piece. Then port here, 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 and then the 2 shoulder cannon ports right up there. And you also have some options here for the forearm. You could put these machine guns on here, which I think is best. That's pretty cool. If you wanted to extend something out from there, you can do that as well, you know, so you could port one of these on here. These little missile launchers have 2 ports on them right there, so you could take one of these and go a little bit like that right there, so you can get this kind of thing going if you wish. I don't know. It's just one of many ideas you could play around with, but yeah, I think this looks really good. I do like how the figure came out. For the most part, I really like this a lot. You know, actually, I don't really have many gripes as far as the design and the aesthetics of the figure goes at all. Another port right over there, and then there's the War Machine butt. Back of the legs look pretty good right here. You can see how they're kind of contoured moving inward, and then you can see all these nicely sculpted lines and everything throughout right there. And then you can see some sculpted detail at the bottom of the feet, as well as some holes for those projection effects. Now, the articulation on the figure is pretty phenomenal. One thing to mention is that we do have these Revoltech pins, so on these little parts that I've mentioned a couple of times now, you have to remember that you could rotate them in any direction, move them up and down in any direction, you know, but they can be loose and floppy. But anyway, getting back to War Machine right here, you can move the head up very far. I like that. And you can move the head and neck downward that much. You can see the neck joint moving in there. Let's see if I can get him to look up even more than that. Yeah, there you go. So you can look straight ahead. That's very cool. Again, down all the way as well. You get side-to-side motion at the head and good head pivoting right here as well. These pieces right here can move up and rotate out of the way. So that's neat. I like that. You also get shoulder or butterfly joints that move forward and back, and they don't shift up and down at the shoulder or at the butterfly joint, but it will move forward and back quite a bit. I do like how the joints are very well hidden on this figure. I need to mention that and commend Revoltech Amazing Yamaguchi for that, because a lot of the time you do see a bunch of joints bulging out, and the only ones I really see sticking out are these shoulder joints, but they can be hidden because you get these pieces right here that can shift around, so they do shift upward that much. You can move them down and rotate them and pivot them as well. Shoulders move outward that far, they move down. You can do a full 360 right here. You do have a bicep swivel, or it's just part of that Revoltech joint right there, so it's actually a shoulder swivel more than a bicep swivel. And then you have the elbow right there moving all the way in, and then the wrist turns side to side and move any direction you'd like. You do have a diaphragm joint right here that turns side to side. Great diaphragm pivoting, crunches forward that much and back, and then the waist joint turns side to side, waist pivot, and with both joints he'll crunch forward that much. Wow, I love how you can see this whole shingled silver piece right here. Then with both joints, waist and diaphragm joint, he'll bend back that far, and then you do get hips that move outward just that much, which is really good. And you can get him kicking forward. Now this gets tricky because this is bulky up here, so getting him to kick forward, yeah, he only wants to move that much, but if I twist outward, he'll kick a little bit more so than that, and back very far. You do have this cut right over here, which is angled kind of strangely, but still, it works. You know, I'm not hating on that. It works. You do get the single jointed knee that bends all the way in, and then you do have these knee pads that can rotate and flop up and down, and you can pivot them as well. Then the ankles move down, they move up, and then this shifts up and down right here, and then this shifts up and down right here above the ankle as well. So the ankle will move up all the way and down. You can turn side to side. You do get beautiful ankle pivot and toe articulation. Where's your toe articulation? There it is. Really weird toe articulation, by the way, but it works. It's worth mentioning that the neck joint did pop off on me during that articulation segment. I didn't notice that, and it hadn't happened to me until I'd done the articulation segment. So that's something to be wary for, but just popped right back in. Anyway, to measure out this figure, you can see that this Amazing Yamaguchi War Machine is standing just barely under that 7-inch mark. Now for a size comparison, here's our Revoltech Amazing Yamaguchi War Machine next to the Marvel Legends Mark I War Machine. And yeah, you can see the inspiration right here. This is not an exact MCU Mark I War Machine. It almost is, but yeah, it's just missing some deco and there are some subtle design changes over here, but you can see the obvious similarities. And here's our Revoltech Amazing Yamaguchi War Machine next to our Amazing Yamaguchi Revoltech Iron Man, inspired by the Bleeding Edge armor right here. And these two look cool side by side, and I gotta say, Revoltech has really improved on their articulation and aesthetics for their figures overall. I mean, this one's just a lot easier to work with as far as posing the figure around compared to the Iron Man. Now I realize this is my very first import War Machine figure. I don't have that many War Machine figures, but anyway, for a random size comparison, here's War Machine next to the first Hasbro Marvel Legends Venom. We have the SH Figuarts Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta. We have the Diamond Select Toys Marvel Select Psylocke, and then we have the Transformers Masterpiece MP11 Starscream. And then here's War Machine next to your average 6-inch scale figure. We have the Marvel Legends Big Time Badass Spider-Man. Hey, War Machine. Hey, you know what's really badass? Oh, whoa. That's badass. So I hope you guys enjoyed hanging out with me today and watching this video. If you did, I gotta remind you again, please hit that like button and subscribe button as well as the notification bell if you want to help things out. And a big thanks to all these people over here that go the furthest mile in helping out the channel, supporting on Patreon. I just announced a Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure Wendigo giveaway yesterday, so stay tuned for more content over on the Patreon, link in the description below. Again, this figure is tricky to work with, but it is a lot of fun at the same time. It's just always kind of like that with the Amazing Yamaguchi Revoltech figures. There's a little bit of a frustration with them because it takes a bit of time getting things to move. The loose joints on some of those parts still bothers me. I did get used to working around it though. You could obviously see I had a good time posing it around or displaying it anyway, because man, that's a lot of accessories on the figure, and just looking at it like this really made me geek out a lot. So I do think it's a very impressive piece, and at the price point of around $90, not a cheap figure at all, I'm giving this a Sud rating of...
It's not too bad.
And again, please let me know what you guys think, so leave a comment down below. If you want to stay in touch with me on social media, you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch. Links to everything I talked about in this video in the description below, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace!
I'm posing action figures, I'm posing action figures, I'm posing action figures every day. I'm posing action figures, I'm posing action figures, I'm posing action figures, it's okay.
That's crispy.
Hey, new ShartimusPrime videos. Hey, you should click one. Yeah, click on one of them. Or subscribe if you haven't.
Your face, a simple shot. We're shot in your face, a simple shot. We're shot in your face.